Hi everyone. So let's talk Bachelor in Paradise. This is a 3-hour episode. Lord Jesus, does a lot. And kind of only got to a certain point in the episode, so we'll at least talk about up until that point. So, number one, I'm gonna do key things that happened. Number one, what's her face? Sparkles. She ends up going home because she is not quite bouncing back from Blake leaving the way she maybe thought she would. Yeah, she ends up leaving, which then in turn means Tanner leaves, so a lot of people are dropping like flies. And then the next thing that kind of happens is this. First of all, number one, let's do this. Kat and John Henry go on a date. And great for them. Great. Kylie looked really upset because she didn't get a date, but we'll get to them in a minute. They seem to have a really good conversation, kind of have a little bit of understanding about Kat and maybe why she is the way she is. Still doesn't mean I like her, because it doesn't mean you have to be bitchy with everybody in your life. Nonetheless, I kind of understand her a little bit more after this conversation with him. So we'll see where that kind of goes. We do have another couple that gets a date as well, which I believe, who was it? Honestly, can't remember. Oh, it was Eliza and Aaron that got that date. So we'll see how that goes. But let's go back to, like I said, there is a little bit of an issue happening between Kylie and Aven. So they sit and they talk about the future, because we're getting to the end of this, right? And she says, like, she really does want a proposal that's really important to her. And he kind of weirdly, all of a sudden, kind of was like, oh, I didn't realize this was so important to you. And, feels like that's more important to you than the relationship and all of this, and blah, 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 kind of like whatever. Now, I think what he's maybe understanding is, yes, is a proposal important to a woman who really wants that proposal? Yes, it is very important, especially when you're in a relationship with somebody and you see that potential in that person and you can see them as your husband. It's even more important in that moment when you so much want that ring. But what he's not, I think, realizing is that the engagement is important to her because she wants that with you. I don't think she would settle to have that ring from somebody else necessarily. She wants that from you. And instead, you're getting your back up about it and thinking that really truly the only important thing for her is the ring and not the fiancé or the husband attached to that ring, which I don't get that from her at all. So it's very weird. This argument coming out of left field is kind of coming from. It was very weird. I also think people are just really and truly breaking down in Paradise. I think everyone's had enough of Paradise. But yeah, that's kind of where I left off. I know there's going to be another conversation about the ring and the engagement between Kylie and Aven. But that is where I've left off so far. So the only other thing that I can kind of talk about right now, because we still have a little more to go through with this episode, is, well, guys, that quote-unquote wedding that we were expecting to have in Paradise, which you're thinking it's probably one of the cast members that are currently on the fucking show. Nope. Back up. It's Mari. And, what's his name? Shit. What the fuck is his name? I can't remember his name. Anyways, you know. Ken. Kevin. One of the two. Sure. Sorry. Totally forgot his name. Anyway, yeah. They're the ones that are getting married on the beach, which, for those who remember from a hot goss that I did on a previous episode, know that they didn't get married in fucking Mexico on the beach of paradise. No, they got married in, what was it, Puerto Rico? And, this was clearly just for the show at this point, which, great, fine, cool, but really, especially because, like, most of us pay attention to the news and know, wait a minute, they got married, but not there. Anywho's, I don't know whether this was before or after their wedding, but I'm going to say it was probably before, not after. So, anyways, that's what happened. Yay, I guess. I mean, great. And then they did like a quote unquote reception, which was like a party that was, I don't know if there was really it was a theme for sure. I don't know if it was 80 themed or what, but nonetheless, there's no real issues with the party itself. But we kind of see like Avon sits and talks with Kenny, that's it, and Mari, and then we kind of see Kylie's talking to whoever, and ultimately they do talk to each other. It was kind of a tough conversation for them to have. Kind of looked like they weren't gonna go very far. Oh, Kylie ended up having a conversation with Blake, which I'll get to that in a second, of my thoughts and feelings on that. But anyway, she talks to Blake, and Blake kind of says to her, like, don't, like, ignore why you're here. You're here for X, Y, and Z, so don't ignore that because you want to make this work with him. Which is fair. What I'm also gonna say at the same time is, Kylie, you're 25 years old. What's the fucking rush? Really, truly, what's the rush? What is the reason that you have to leave here with a ring on your finger? I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't have that. I'm just curious as to why it's such an important thing for you to have right now. It's not like, I mean, Mari was pretty young too. I can't remember how old she was when they started dating. 26, 27. But like Kenny is older. He was 40, I believe, or close to 40. But like, what is the rush? You know what I mean? You do have the opportunity to take this out of paradise, date, and then go from there. I didn't think anything that Avon said to her was wrong. I thought it was all okay things to say. He's not saying he doesn't want to be with you. He's just saying, I want to take this out of this fancy setting, and I want to make sure that we can make this work. Because maybe for him, he only wants to propose to somebody once. And I'm sorry, but we can't ignore the fact that when you're in these situations where you're getting these amazing experiences and trips and whatever, you're in a state of fairy tale. So then when the fairy tale is over, that's when the relationships don't work. I mean, I didn't think anything he said was incorrect. I think she is a person who needs serious validation and can't survive without the validation because she has some sort of insecurity. Anyway, they do go back to a conversation the next day, and basically he's trying to say to her, I can see an engagement at the end of this all of a sudden. Whether that's genuine or not, I don't know. But he basically says that he can't see a life without her, so great. What I want to quickly talk about, though, is Blake and Kylie, this weird little connection that they have now. Of course, men and women can be friends, despite what Harry says and when Harry met Sally. And of course they can, I'm not saying that. But I did find it weird when Blake left, how upset she seemed at the idea of him leaving, to a point where it made me think, do you like Blake? Like, what's kind of going on here? But kind of letting it go, because I think, she's really into Avon. So, no way. But then, which I kind of left this part out for a reason, then, when they're doing the wedding with Kenny and Mari, Kenny brings his quote-unquote best man, who is Blake. And Kylie just gets so happy, to the point where we actually have one of, I think it was Mercedes, actually says to Kylie, Blake's here. And Kylie later turns around and is like, oh my god. She just lit up when he walks in the room. And then, when they have this conversation, they kind of made it feel like, leading up to it, she was kind of like gonna have a conversation with Blake, because maybe there's something there kind of thing, right? But I'm really truly thinking, like, then why isn't she with Blake? Why isn't she trying that out? Maybe she did close herself off. She kind of said, like, maybe I did close myself off and whatever. And I'm thinking, why are you with him? And not to say that you need to be with the person because you're so friendly with a person of the opposite sex or anything like that, but they really seem to really care about each other. Let's be very real. The best relationships come out of friendships. And I'm just like, why not? Because I really think he would have taken things maybe a little more seriously, because he's been through this before, and maybe they could have, but this is not to discredit the relationship she has with Avon. It's just very interesting thing that I was witnessing. So those are kind of my thoughts on that. But of course, we do find out from Jesse that the paradise is over. So now the decisions need to be made on whether or not are all of these people going to go forth. Don't know. Actually, that made me remember that however the conversation went with Kylie and Avon basically ended. Yeah, because I don't know if they actually decided they were to put it on the table or not. I think she ultimately decided to agree, or maybe not agree, I don't know, but kind of do this his way a little bit, because they are off the beach. Avon and Kylie, they decided there's something more for them here at Paradise, so they're gonna leave. So that's the first couple out. I predict Olivia and Michael are next, and I even predict John, Henry, and Kat are also not going to be there for much longer. Yeah. I think the only other thing, but really truly the only I believe, leaves Eliza and Aaron, so that wouldn't work. But the other thing that does happen here is that Mercedes does leave, which then in turn means the guy that she was talking to, race car driver, he's also off as well. So, because there's nothing really there for Mercedes at this point, she can't see herself getting there with him. So that's basically where we leave off for now. But yeah. Okay, so I realized weeks after watching this episode, that I did not finish the episode. So, Mercedes, like I think I mentioned Mercedes, I don't remember what happens after that in terms of the couples, but we're going to do it this way. Basically, I think the only couples we're going to do it this way is because I don't remember what happened after Mercedes leaves, but I think the only other so I actually don't remember if I talked about Peter and Sam, but in case I didn't, then here we go. Peter and Sam, he was under the impression like, we're gonna go further and it's gonna be great, and Sam's like, you're really great, but it's not that into you. So that didn't go anywhere. The only two couples that go forward here is it's John Henry and what's her face? I can't remember her name because I've been Kat. And Aaron and Eliza. So those are the only people who are left. So everything seemed to go pretty good with both of them. They both couples get engaged. It seemed touch and go there for a little bit between Eliza and Aaron B. But they do ultimately get engaged, so yay. Until we get to the end screen. Now, again, not going to go through every single person here who gets mentioned here. Like, I know they make some jokes with Rachel and all of that. We're not going to go through all of that because I don't remember all of it. But we do kind of get the update on the couple. So, obviously, what are their names again? Or with the girl and that didn't leave, but they said they were going to stay together. Who didn't stay, but they stayed together. Didn't get engaged. They seem to be doing well, so it's good. I guess this was the perfect move for them. Not sure, but they said that they're doing good. Then we go to Eliza and Aaron. They're not doing so good, guys. For those who didn't watch the episode, but they're not doing good. I'm not sure what the problems are with them. It's not obviously mentioned, but it seems like they're really struggling. Not necessarily able to stay together, but I guess we'll see what kind of happens with them. I don't know. I honestly don't trust either of them. I don't trust Aaron. I don't trust Eliza. So who knows? But I wish them all the best. And then John Henry and Kat, who knew, are doing really well after being on Paradise. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. But that's basically it for Bachelor in Paradise again. I know the last little part seemed pretty quick just because I realized I forgot to record this. It's literally been like 3 weeks. Like we're now currently at the end, the last 5 minutes of this in a new year. But yeah, that's basically it for that. Again, we are coming back very, very soon. Just finished watching A Single Life. So we'll be coming back into your ears very, very soon. But as always, you can find us on social media at Facebook, Reality Tea Times 2, Instagram, as well, Reality Tea Times 2, and Twitter at Reality Tea Times 2 Pod. And you can email us at realityteatimes2@hotmail.com. We're also on Reddit. We have our website at solo.to/reality tea times 2. But that's it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.